everyone. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Undeniably Nikki. I hope this video is finding you in great spirits. I hope you are having an amazing day. And I thank you once again for joining me for another episode. So, what have I been up to? Y'all, I haven't been up to much this weekend. I literally just used this weekend after coming off of a crazy week, which we'll get into a little bit more later. After coming off of a crazy week, work-wise, this weekend, I literally just rested. I rested. I went for a long walk in the park, and I actually accomplished something that I'm very proud of. So as I was going for this walk in my park, there's this big rocky hill. It's not that big, but it's like pretty steep, that I like to walk up a few times just because it gives me like a little bit extra workout. Like I end up puffing and puffing a little bit more when I walk up and down it. And just because it's a terrain area, it's rocky and it's steep. And so this weekend I was like, you know what? I'm going to challenge myself. I'm not just going to walk up it. I'm going to try to run up it. So y'all, I went to the park. First of all, not even realizing like how windy it was outside, like because it just looked so pretty. So I didn't even realize like how windy it was. Like I did see like the palm trees blowing and everything, but I didn't know like how windy it was. I didn't know it was as windy as it was. So anyway, so I'm at the park and I was like, you know what? And I kind of said it like jokingly on Instagram at first, and I was like, I may even run up this hill today. But then after I thought about it a little bit longer, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to believe in myself, and I'm going to trust that I can do it. So I get to the hill. I'm like walking around the park, and I get to the little hill part, and I literally just took off as fast as I could. I just start running up this hill. And there's, like I said, it's a terrainy area. So it's like gravel and rocks and stuff like that. So I'm like looking down. I'm just keeping my head down. Like I'm like, if I just keep my head down and just focus down, I won't realize like how much I have left, and then I won't be like, oh, I can't do it. Because you know, sometimes you can like see a distance, you can see how far you have to go, and you can like psych yourself out. And that not only applies to like working out, that applies to like just everything in life, things in your life. You know, you can see, you know, a promotion that you want to go for, but you feel like, you know what, maybe I'm not qualified enough because I don't have A, B, C, or D. So then you psych yourself out because you feel like you haven't come the distance in qualifications to go the distance to go for that promotion or whatever. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to focus on that. I'm not going to focus on how far I have to go to get to my goal. I'm just going to try to get to my goal. And honestly, y'all, wait a minute. Hold on. Because that was a word. That was a word. I didn't even realize that I was bringing a word until I just brought that word. That was a word. I'm not going to focus on how far I have to go to get to my goals. I'm just going to try to go for my goals and achieve them. Anyway, so back to my run. So yeah, y'all, I was running and I was like, oh, and I was huffing and puffing and panting. And then when I did not stop until I got to the point where I felt like I just literally couldn't go anymore. Like I felt like I was like about to pass out. So I stopped. But I was so proud of myself. I did not make it to the top, but I was so proud of myself because I made it pretty far. You know, I went further than I thought I could go. You know, I went farther than I thought I could go. So that was like one of the goals I accomplished this weekend. Another goal I accomplished this weekend is that like I'm kind of in the spirit of, not even kind of, I'm pretty dedicated to it right now, where I'm really motivated into one, getting healthy, and two, losing weight. And so, because like many people, I gained weight during the quarantine because we're all just home, we're not doing anything, and so we're very sedentary, you know, and my job is a very sedentary job to begin with, and then working from home just has me even sitting even more than when I am in the actual building. So one of my other goals was like to seriously, like to get real, to get serious about trying to lose weight in fitness this year. And so me and my sister, we are doing it together, and that is a good thing because when you have a partner who you can do it with, who can help hold you accountable and you can help hold them accountable, it's easier to stick. You know, it's still tough, it's still hard, but it's a little easier to stick. So my sister and I are doing this together, And so this weekend I also meal prepped. And I wanted to do this, like me and my sister wanted to do this, because one of the things is our jobs, like we're so busy with our work life that we don't cook as much as we should. And so we eat out all the time. You know, it's just kind of like you go from work, you grab something to eat, you come home, and you go to sleep, you know. So we wanted to get like a little bit more of a healthier lifestyle by meal prepping. So this weekend I had to cook for us, and I cooked 2 meals. And one was like a fajita bowl using cauliflower rice instead of like regular rice. And I used lean ground beef and veggies and bell peppers and onions. And then another one was a low carb pizza. And so basically I used cauliflower pearls to make the low carb pizza. You know, I cooked it, and then it kind of gets like almost like a dough consistency, and you use like an egg and some cheese to kind of hold it together, and then put, of course, like pizza toppings on the top. So I cooked that. That should last us about 3 or 4 days based on the meal prep for that. Well, it started Sunday, so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That should last us until Wednesday when my sister cooks again, and then that's going to last us. So yeah, it should last us through Wednesday. And then my sister's going to cook again on Wednesday night for us for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So, yeah, anybody who knows me, like all my family who knows me, knows that I did not get the cooking gene in our family. There are so many amazing cooks in our family, and I did not get that gene. I'm not the best at it. Y'all know, y'all have heard some of the stories my sister has told. But I did really good this weekend. I did so good, and my sister actually said it was good. She was like, "Sister, this is actually really good." And so my seasoning was good and everything like that. I mean, it wasn't the hardest meal to make. It wasn't like soul food or anything like that. But I'm proud of myself because y'all know I hate to cook. I do not like to cook. And I think I don't really like it because I'm not that good at it. Like I burn things a lot.
Who had been saying that? Who said that? Who said that? Who said that?
And I just said that like that was normal. I was like, I burn things a lot. And I don't know. I'm not good at it. So I was proud of myself. I was super proud of myself because there are some things that I can cook. And these are 2 more dishes added to my list of things that I can cook. So yeah, that's just been going on, what's been going on with me. Also this weekend, I watched a couple of movies. I was looking at, I watched The Highwaymen, which is on Netflix. It's a really good movie. It has Woody Harrelson in it, and it has, oh God, what's my guy's name? Oh God. Kevin Costner in it. And they are playing 2 of the guys who were responsible for, I don't want to say capturing because they shot him dead, but capturing Bonnie and Clyde. And so it just kind of tells their story of how they went about it and how they set it up and everything they did to get these 2 outlaws from back in the day. You guys all know Bonnie and Clyde. They're the outlaw couple who were robbing banks together, but they weren't only robbing banks, they were like killing people, you know. So but they were doing all these things, but it was during a time of the Great Depression, and so many people were without work, were struggling, were homeless, were living in camps. So a lot of people were rooting for them because they looked at it as they were taking from the big banks who caused everyone to kind of get in this situation. Well, the banks didn't cause it, the stock market caused it, but who were a part of taking from poor people, you know, when they were in their worst time, you know, which was the Great Depression. So a lot of people were like rooting for them and everything, and it was hard for law enforcement to catch them for so long, and they actually killed a lot of police officers and killed just some random people because of everything that was going on. So anyway, it was just really good. It was interesting. It was really good. Another movie that I watched this weekend was Miss Bala. And Miss Bala, it stars Gina Rodriguez from Jane the Virgin. And it was okay. Like I don't know. I didn't love it because I just thought the main character, Gina Rodriguez, did a lot of stupid things, but then she kind of redeems herself at some point. But I mean, it was a decent movie. It was decent. It wasn't bad. I just wasn't like, oh, that's a good movie, like how I was after The Highwayman type of thing. But I think I also too was like that with The Highwayman too, because I love any type of movie that is something to do with history, because I love history. So anytime there's anything that has to do with history and stuff like that, I love to watch it, because I just always love to learn and remember and go back to things that happened back in the day and see a new take on it, or you know, a new movie or whatever about it. So that's all with me. Yeah, I just, you know, kind of decompressed, made sure I stayed away from the news because I needed a break after the week we've had. As you guys know, it was some craziness that happened this week in news nationally. Crazy to the point that it is literally not only a hot topic of mine today, but it is also a part of my Undeniably Foolish segment. And I'm talking about, of course, you know, the chaos at the Capitol. And unless you were asleep, sick, under a rock, I don't know how you could have missed what happened at the Capitol. But basically, thousands and thousands of Trump supporters decided to storm the Capitol. Now, we know that they have been talking about doing this for a while now. They've been talking about it for a couple of weeks or a few weeks since he lost the election. And he's been encouraging them and telling them, you know, meet me at the Capitol. They can't steal this election from us. We're going to take it back, and I'll be there with you, which oddly enough, he was not there with them. Duh. Like we knew he wouldn't be. And so his base, who are, to me, they're a little touched. They're a little crazy. They're a lot of crazy. They basically stormed the Capitol. All the lawmakers, the congressmen and women, the senators, had to be placed on lockdown. And this happened. They decided to do it during the certifying of the votes. And the certifying of the votes is when they basically take all the votes from the states that were cast on election day for the president, and they certify it. And they're like, yes, okay, we certify that Joe Biden is the president. And what they do is the different congressmen and senators, they all vote on it. And they vote whether or not to certify the state's votes. And so, yeah, they stormed the Capitol because they were like, we're going to stop this. They were trying to stop the certification of the votes, which is, they committed an insurrection, which is a form of, which basically means to try to overthrow the government. So thousands and thousands of people, and it was chaos. It was a hot mess. It was crazy. You just see just angriness, people being angry. And
we can take that place. And then do what? Heads on pike.
Several sources, Jake, who tell me that the situation is getting out of control, that it has turned insane, frankly, and that the other law enforcement has been asked to help by Capitol Police. They have been reaching out to federal authorities and local authorities, asking them to come help.
You're just like looking at it like the caucasity of it all, because it's just like, get over yourself. Like, so it was crazy. So you just see angriness, and you see anger, and just yelling and chanting, and you're hearing string them up, and you're hearing you know, they're violating our rights, and you know, just craziness, stuff that doesn't even make sense. You know, we all know that every election there is always going to be someone, there's going to be some type of, you know, they stole the vote, they cheated type of thing. There's always widespread, there's always a speculation of voter fraud. No matter what, every election season, this is a thing. But what usually happens is that the people who think there is voter fraud, in this case Trump, their team of lawyers, they draft cases and they go to court, which is what they did. And the Trump organization, the Trump administration actually drafted more than 60 cases that went to more than 60 different judges and courts, majority of them conservative. And all of the judges, not even say majority, all of the judges found that there was no reason to think that this election was illegally stolen and that there was any type of voter fraud or anything like that. So all the cases literally thrown out. And so this was like, to me, it was like his last ditch effort to rally his crazy ass base and to try to get them to create distraction and try to pretty much overturn everything, which there's no way you can do it. So anyway, it was a mess, y'all. Like honestly, I was just watching it, like I literally was just like, and it's because, you know, it's crazy that these same people literally who have no concern for Black lives and called Black Lives Matter protesters, people who were protesting, and not even just the organization, people who were in the streets protesting to say Black Lives Matter. We should not be getting murdered. We should not be getting gunned down by the people who are supposed to protect us. We should be able to have due process. We should be able to go home and be safe and then just have our day in court if you suspect that we did something. We should not just be executed. And these same people have a problem with that. These same people, like, to me, this whole thing is just crazy to me because also, too, you saw a difference in the way they were treated. You know, Black Lives Matter protesters would have never gotten that close, ever, to the Capitol. Never, ever, ever. And they got extremely close. They not only got close, they went inside. They went inside and they destroyed things, and they defecated in the hallways and spread them on the walls and just so many other things, and was breaking stuff and were hurting like police officers who were actually trying to stop them, because we all know, after some of the reports that have come out, that not all the police officers on Capitol Hill were trying to stop them. And in fact, you see even video of police officers just kind of standing there letting them do what they do. And you also see on video some of the people who were storming the Capitol. They're like, you know, the police officers have been great. They've just been, you know, telling us to be safe and get home safe and stuff like that. Now, y'all know that would have never happened in a Black Lives Matter protest. We wouldn't even got close to the Capitol. We would have been killed before we even got to the Capitol stairs. So not only did they get to the stairs, they got inside. They were hanging nooses, breaking glass, just doing the most, posing in offices, taking pictures, just a hot mess. And out of all of this, like, people died. 5 people died. And it was a mess. It was just an absolute mess, and it was crazy. And I literally, like, could not help but to look at it, and it just was like, this is the epitome of white privilege. This is the caucasity of it all. For the simple fact that things were even handled differently with them, and for also the simple fact that they thought this was okay. They thought this was okay to do, and it's not, you know. So that was a mess. Also this week, you know, because of all that happened, Trump got suspended indefinitely from Twitter and Facebook, and Instagram, and I think that's it. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, because they were the social media agencies were nervous. Social media platforms were nervous that he was going to continue to incite violence, because he never called these people out. He never told them to stop. You know, the Black Lives Matter protesters, he said they were thugs, and he said when the looting starts, the shooting starts. But with these guys, he's like, I know you're upset, I know you're angry, and we love you, but go home. Like, and that wasn't even until like maybe like 4 o'clock. And this had been going on since the morning hours. So it's just a mess. And it's honestly, I know it had to happen because it is just as sucky as it is that it happened, I know it had to happen because it is another example captured on film to show this country the double standard in which black people are treated, black and brown people are treated, especially my people, especially black people are treated in comparison with how white people are treated. And it is just another example of their white privilege that they were even able to get this far and do the things that they did. So anyway, and as for people who are out there who are saying, you know, Trump shouldn't have been suspended indefinitely from Twitter, you know, here's the deal. He's got his freedom of speech regardless. This is a private platform. It is a private company who owns this platform. So they make the rules. There are people who get kicked off of Twitter or get suspended from Twitter every single day for far less. This man was doing stuff to incite what happened on Capitol Hill. Okay, and is constantly putting out misinformation. Constantly. And I personally think that social media needs to crack down on people who are disseminating misinformation. Like, it's not taking away your freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is there to protect you from the government. That is there for you to speak out against the government and be protected. That is freedom of speech. Freedom of speech does not protect you to continue to go and spread lies and do things that can cause an issue, to cause incite violence and riots. Like, you can't do that, you know. So people who are saying that, you know, this will affect freedom of speech, it doesn't. It doesn't affect freedom of speech. This is a private owned company who writes their own rules, and they have the right to kick someone off for violating their rules. It is what it is, you know. So anyway, so that's all I have to say about that crazy nonsense. It was a hot mess. I'm happy that we did not get involved because it was not our fight. But I was looking at it like, and I'm really sad, despite those people being crazy and going out there doing this, because like one of the people who died was a police officer who was actually, I think, trying to stop them. I'm sad that people died. I'm so sad that it even came to the point where people have died. But you know, I don't know. I felt like this was another example of the what was I saying? The different rules for different people aspect of this country that we do. And it is something that we have been saying for the longest time, us as black people, especially who have been out there, the people on the front lines who have been out there protesting and trying to create change. This was just another magnifying glass on that, showing the differences. So I don't have anything else to say about that crazy nonsense. On to my other hot topics. Oh, y'all. Okay, so now I have to talk about more caucasity of it all. Soho Karen. Soho Karen, who is also known as Mia, what's her name? Mia Panote? I think that's her name. Hold on, let me see. Oh, Soho Karen, also known as Maya Panzado. So I have not talked about her on Undeniably Nikki, just because, right? But I gotta talk about her now because, first of all, we first met Maya Panzado, this 22-year-old woman, when she accosted and assaulted and berated and attacked this 14-year-old black kid who was at the hotel with his parents during the holidays, and she accused him of stealing her phone. Now, this video of her being an absolute monster went viral because the kid that she accused of doing this happened to be the 14-year-old son of jazz musician, literally like critically acclaimed Grammy Award winning jazz musician Keon Harold. Now, I've never heard of Keon Harold, but he is huge in the music world and huge in the jazz world. So the kid was Keon Harold's son, and he was actually with his son when this happened. So this girl was just doing the most, yelling and, you know, screaming and saying he took her phone, trying to check his pockets. She even like tackled him at one point.
I'm sorry.
Better get on. We have what you see two black people.
No, I'm not letting him walk away with my phone.
Better get on.
No, please get my phone back. I cannot not have my phone.
Get your ass up.
A mess, right? And so that video blew up and everybody has just been like, ugh, another Karen, here we go. And so she's been nicknamed Soho Karen, right? So anyway, she was interviewed this week by Gayle King on CBS This Morning. And so she was interviewed and Gayle was, you know, talking to her about what happened and like what was she thinking, why would she do that? And just, you know, trying to get her to be accountable. You know, not once, of course, was she accountable, not once throughout this interview. And she also had the nerve in the interview when Gayle was like, you know, she's like, I'm a 22-year-old girl. I don't understand why it's a big issue for me to, you know, question a 14-year-old guy, which let's point that out, the narrative that she is again still painting. She goes, I'm a 22-year-old girl. You're a 22-year-old woman. And then she goes, why is it that, you know, it's wrong for me to question a 22-year-old guy? He is a 14-year-old guy. He is a 14-year-old kid, okay? Out of place as it is, because you're an adult, okay? And so she's saying, you know, that shouldn't be a crime. And Gayle goes, yeah, but Mia, you're 22, but you know better. And you know that you were racially, you know that it looks like you were racially profiling him. And, you know, Gayle's just trying to get her to have some accountability. And you know that you shouldn't have maybe handled it that way. And she literally, during the interview, when Gayle's like saying this to her, she goes, Gayle, enough. Enough, Gayle. She goes, enough, Gayle.
Was one girl accusing a guy about a phone a crime? Where is the context in that?
Mia,
what is the deeper
Mia,
story
it's
here?
not. That's not the problem. You have to at least understand your actions that day. You seem to have attacked this little boy, this young boy, this teenager. You seem to have attacked this teenager about the phone, and then it turned out he didn't even have your phone. That's the thing. I mean, you're saying, look, I'm 22 years old. You're 22 years old, but you are old enough to know better. So I will say, you're 22. I get it.
Enough.
Girl, are you kidding me? She literally says to a 63-year-old woman, she is 22, enough, Gayle. First of all, who you think you shushing? Who do you think, girl, Mia, who do you think you are trying to put in their place? Not Gayle King. No, you're not. And you know what? You doing that just showed even more what a nasty heifer you are. You are nasty. Like, when I saw that video, I literally was like, oh, and then I was like, this bitch. I literally said that because I'm like, the audacity, the caucasity of it all. Girl, she giving you a platform where you can try to make things better for yourself. But you are so arrogant, you won't even take this moment to try to make things better for yourself. You won't even take this moment to show some remorse. And you're not doing it because you have no remorse. You have no remorse in what you did. You don't think you did anything that was wrong. You think you were entitled to question this kid like that and treat him like that. But you weren't. You weren't. And you doing this interview with Gayle King shows your true colors. It shows how nasty you are. And hopefully this won't be something where people are like, oh, she's just 22. She's got a lot of growing to do type of thing. Which she is, which she does. But she also has, to me, she has something inside of her that is nasty. Like, for her to think that's okay. I don't care if Gayle King was 63. I don't care if Gayle King was 25. I don't care if Gayle King was 18 and interviewing her. You have no right to shush or be dismissive with anyone like that. No right. And you doing that just puts another magnifying glass. It just exemplifies who you are as a person. And it is crazy because this entire time, like during the interview, she was trying to play the victim, and she's just like, well, the father was yelling at me, and I'm like, well, he yelling at you because you are accosting his son. And then 2, you literally put your hands on his child. Like, what do you think he's gonna do? He's gonna let you just keep attacking his son? No, he's gonna try to get you off of him. So of course he's gonna grab you and throw you off of his child. Like, girl, get over yourself. So anyway, so Mia, who was doing this interview with Gayle, was like, because Gayle's like, well, there's a warrant out for your arrest in New York. And she's like, well, no, I don't know that. I have not heard anything like that. I haven't talked to the police. So Karma for Mia, who actually did the interview with a hat on that said daddy. Girl. Who apparently her attorney was like, maybe you shouldn't wear, I don't think you should wear that hat for this interview. And she refused to take it off. She had a hat that said daddy. Like, just why? She literally was arrested right after the interview with Gayle King. Like, literally, like, police came, whoop, whoop, swooped her up, took her to jail. And also, by the way, her phone was found right there at the hotel. At first, they were saying it was found in the Uber, but I think it came out that no, it was actually found in the hotel. Kid had nothing to do with it, didn't take it, anything. She just literally racial profiled this kid and said that he took it. And then she went on Gayle King, and instead of trying to use that opportunity to apologize, have some remorse, and actually correct herself and, try to humble herself and actually be better, she literally went on there and was a monster too. And everybody saw it. So, I don't know what's happening next. I know she was in court. I think she had her arraignment. I know she's out on bail. And we'll just see what else happens. We'll see if anything happens. But, I'm happy she was arrested. These Karens and these Chads and these Kens and these Patties, they got to be arrested. Like you can't keep filing these false complaints. Because I think she called the police too. You can't, and I think that's one of her charges, filing a false complaint. You can't file these false complaints and do things like this and harass people because you're racially profiling, because you have an issue within yourself. Like, that ain't cool, So I'm glad that the law is finally starting to crack down on people like this and like show like they can be an example like of this can happen to you if you are just being a Karen and you just being a Chad. Okay. So that of course was another part of my Undeniably Foolish segment. So anyway, let's see what else is going on. Oh, I got some couple news to tell you guys about. So Kanye West and Kim Kardashian, there are rumors going on that they are headed for divorce. Now, here's the deal. I say rumors because they have not come out and they have not confirmed anything, but there are multiple media outlets that are reporting that the two have not been in a good place for a while, but Kim has been trying to stick it through. They've been in marriage counseling. They both have been trying to stick it through. They've been in marriage counseling. But it looks like the signs are on the wall that they could be headed for divorce. So, there were, just for people, and I'm not going to repeat the rumor, there was like a rumor that came out too that was accusing Kanye of infidelity. That turned out to be completely untrue. The person who fabricated it said that it was untrue. And like I said, I don't want to repeat it because it was just, like I said, it was untrue. And the person came out and literally said, this is not true. And the reason they changed their tune is because Kim and Kanye are suing her. And so she's like, okay, so I totally made that up. this is another example. This influencer made up this rumor on TikTok, which is another social media platform, and it went viral, and some media outlets ran with it without vetting it, and it turns out it wasn't true. And this is another example of, like, just because it's social media, just because you have freedom of speech, does not mean you can disseminate things that are blatantly false. Like, you can't do that. And so this girl, like I said, she walked it back after, because she's being sued. So anyway, back to the divorce. It says, sources confirm, and this is according to CNN, sources confirm that they have been living separately for a while. Kim here in, Kim in LA, Kanye in Wyoming. He likes to go to Wyoming, as you guys know, to create his albums and to create and work on projects and things like that. So he's been in Wyoming. Kim is here, has been in LA. Her business is in LA, her Skims and all that stuff. And so she's been in LA with the kids, and he's been in Wyoming. So they've been kind of living apart for a bit. And then also Kim has law school that she does too, that is in California. But the source said they have been living separately for the last few months. And the source is a friend of Kim Kardashian, apparently. Yeah, a friend of hers. They have been in marriage counseling and have discussed divorce, and it's on the table. Divorce is something that has been discussed on and off for the past year, but Kim has not wanted to move forward on that. There is no drama or contentious relationship, the individual added. They are amicable and fully aligned when it comes to the kids. So, like I said, all of this is just a rumor. We don't know if it's true or not, but either way, I wish them the best. You know, I would hate to see them get divorced because kids are involved, but then also too, you don't just stick with a situation because kids are involved. And I can say that from my own experience. And when my mom and dad were married, I, as a child, was happier when they got a divorce, because I also saw the contention in the house between my mom and dad. I saw, you know, my mom being hurt and upset, and I saw the arguing and things like that, even though they would try to not keep it from us. But as a kid, you see that and you know it. So sometimes it's not the best thing to stay together for the kids. It's best to stay together because you love each other and you truly want to work this out. Because kids can sense that stuff. Kids can sense when things are going on, and you know, and they can sense when their parents are happy or not happy. And I just know, like I said, I can just go off my own experience, you know, and that's why I'm like, well, I don't want them to stick it out for the kids. But it is sad if they were to get a divorce because kids are involved, you know. So, and then too, like, you know, there were two people who loved each other. But as long as they can do it, you know, amicably, and, you know, remember to keep the kids at the forefront of everything they do. Not their own hurt, not their own pain and bitterness, but the kids, like, and do what's right for the kids. I'm sure they'll work it out. And they may go through counseling and decide, you know what, we're going to continue to be ride or die for each other, and we're going to stick this out. So either way, like I said, I wish them the best. Let's see what else I got to tell you. Oh, okay. Speaking of social media, I could have brought this up a little bit ago, but I just remembered it. So Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have decided that they are quitting social media. They are quitting social media. Now, the two, the couple, they haven't been active on social media since, like, super active since March 2020. But they said unless it's stuff for, like, business or whatever, they're not going to be active on social media. Like, they're not going to have their own personal accounts. They'll have business accounts that other people will run, but they, for themselves, they pretty much don't want any part of social media. And it's mainly because just a lot of the stuff that Meghan has gone through. Like, she has gone through a lot since she married him and became, you know, the Duchess of Sussex. And she just said, like, let's see. For example, like, I have this quote from Meghan. She says, "I'm told that in 2019, I was the most trolled person in the entire world. male or female. Now 8 months of that, I wasn't even visible. I was on maternity leave or with a baby. But what was able to just be manufactured and churned out is almost unsurvivable. That's so big. You can't think of what that feels like. Because I don't care if you're 15 or 25. If people are saying things about you that aren't true, that what that does to your mental and emotional health is so damaging. And then Harry talked about it too, and he was just saying, basically talking about when she was like cyberbullied big time, you know, he said to stand back and do nothing would be contrary to everything we believe in. There comes a point when the only thing to do is to stand up to this behavior because it destroys people and destroys lives. Put simply, it is bullying, which scares and silences people. We all know this isn't acceptable at any level. We won't and can't believe in a world where there is no accountability for this. So, you know, their whole main thing of getting off of social media is because of just people being nasty. People just being just nasty for no reason. Like, the thing is, you can have your opinions, but there's no reason to just, you know, be nasty and try to destroy and obliterate someone. And often you see that on social media. It looks like people are literally trying to destroy people and trying to destroy them with stuff that is true, stuff that are lies, stuff that is fodder, stuff that is, you know, speculation, things like that. But people won't just try to disseminate the information. They will literally try to destroy people, which is crazy. I've never experienced that. Thank you, Jesus. Knock on some wood. But the crazy thing to me is that this happens, you know, like, and that it's allowed, you know. Wow. Anyway, so like I said, I've never experienced that, but I know there have been points in my life where I've kind of been like, oh, I just want to be off social media. And I do it for a living. Just because I do find that it can be very toxic, you know, and not always in like you're being attacked or anything like that. It can just be toxic with what thoughts you can sum up about yourself based on what you're seeing with other people. You can be looking at an influencer and be like, God, I wish I just had her tummy, or I wish I just looked like her, or I wish I just had her life, or whatever, you know. And especially kids, they're really impressionable, you know, like teenagers are like their self-esteem to begin with are very fragile. So when they're looking at, you know, sometimes things on social media that aren't real, because a lot of social media, y'all, it's not real. Like, people are just faking for the gram. People are, you know, just flossing, posing for the gram, and that's really not the life they're living. But people, not everyone can look at that and have a discernment that maybe this isn't real. Maybe this is just for social media. That's why I have so much admiration for people who are influencers, who I'll see they'll post, you know, like Instagram, and then they'll be like real life, you know. I appreciate them doing those split takes just to show, because I think it does help people who maybe can't discern that all this stuff isn't real, and will use things and beat themselves up about it. But like I said, yeah, sometimes I'll look at social media and I'll just be like, oh, it could be draining, you know. It could be draining just seeing the constant barrage of just everything. It is literally like just so much all the time, you know. There's so much negativity, there's so much positivity, there's so much foolishness, there's so much funny stuff. It's just like it all comes at you. And so sometimes I am one of those people that I'm just like, I would love to have just like a month to just unplug from social media for a month. It could never happen because of what I do for a living, but sometimes I want that, you know. And I remember one time I was on vacation for work, and I literally like did not get on social media for an entire week, and it was just like a vacation that I was just at home. This was like during one of my vacations during 2020, because I couldn't go anywhere because of COVID. And I literally was just like, I'm just going to take a break from social media. Take a break from social media. I'm going to take a break from the news. And I'm just going to be like one with myself and be in, you know, my own peace and harmony that I am creating with myself without any type of outside influence from social media and stuff like that. So I get where they're coming from, especially them, because they are public figures. And, you know, the amount of hate that Meghan has received just for being Harry's wife and being a black woman has been insane. It has been insane. And the thing is, they did this stuff to Diana. They mistreated Diana to Harry's mother. That's one of the reasons he wanted to leave the monarchy, because he saw what was happening with his wife. He saw it going the same way as it did with his mother, and he was like, I don't want to lose you like I lost my mother, you know. And the thing is, like, people, you know, yes, Diana is the people's princess, but that's the thing, she's the people's princess. The media was awful to her, except for like the American media. The American media loved her, and the British media didn't start to love her until she and Charles got a divorce, and then they started to like her. But they were awful to her, absolutely awful, and criticized her and scrutinized her so much the way they do with Meghan. And she didn't really become beloved with the British media until, like I said, you know, Charles and her got a divorce, and she passed away. So I can totally get where they're coming from. I see why Harry is just like, you know what? No. Done. I love my wife, I love my son more than I love this title. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's his birthright, I get it. I totally get it. And I get why they are done with social media. But I wish them the best, because they're so cute and they seem really in love. They seem like, I don't know their personal life, I don't know what's going on behind closed doors, but they do seem super in love, you know. Let's see, what else? I just want to give a little quick Black excellence shout out to my girl Beyonce. So Beyonce knows Carter, the most amazing performer there is. Beyonce, there is right now, not counting people who have passed, okay? Don't come for me. Beyonce is partnering with the NAACP to get $5,000 grants to people in the Black community who are suffering because of COVID, who are, you know, at risk of being kicked out their apartments, at risk of being kicked out their homes, losing their homes, whatever issues that they're going through. She is working with the NAACP to get grants to different people in the Black community for $5,000 to help them out. And this is not all. Beyonce has also her project, and it's all being done through her, let me tell you the name of it. It's all being done through her initiative. Her initiative is being done through her Be Good charity, and it's spelled BEYGOOD, Be Good Charity, which also offered $10,000 grants to more than 250 small businesses who were facing financial hardships. So, you know, I wanted to shout this out, because there are just so many celebrities who, you know, who have the means to help and help people and do more. And not everyone's doing that. And so I definitely want to always recognize the people who are doing that, you know, because, you know, to whom much is given, much is expected. And I'm such a believer in that. If you can help someone, help them. Like, why not? If you have more than enough to help, why not? So I salute my girl Beyonce, my queen. I salute her for doing this. And she doing this, having this heart to help people, is the epitome of Black excellence. Ooh, got a little water on my hand. Okay, what else do I have for you? Oh, okay. So I have a little announcement, and then I'm gonna wrap it up. So there is gonna be a revitalization of Sex and the City. I am so excited about this. I was a huge Sex and the City fan. I still am. I watch the movie every single time it comes on TV. every time E plays the actual Sex and the City, like they have a marathon, I sit there and watch it. Like I haven't seen it. But anyway, I love Sex and the City so much. And so they're doing a revitalization, and it is coming back to HBO Max. So the series is going to come back, and it's going to be called, let's see. Wait, let me find it. Okay, so it's coming back to HBO Max, and it's going to be called And Just Like That. Okay, And Just Like That, ... And it will star Sarah Jessica Parker, who is Carrie Bradshaw, Cynthia Nixon, who plays Miranda, and Kristen Davis, who plays Charlotte, and Kim Cattrall, who plays Samantha Jones. She will not be back, which I'm not that shocked about it, because apparently her and Sarah Jessica Parker didn't really get along as good as we thought they did. Kim Cattrall didn't really feel her, and they've had a little beef. And Kim Cattrall actually wrote like this kind of op-ed, just basically kind of bashing her. So I am not surprised that Kim Cattrall isn't coming back. Plus, she has her own series right now. I forgot what it's called. It's my sister watches it. I forgot what it's called, but it's like on it's on Primetime, and I think it's on Fox or ABC. So anyway, Kim Cattrall's not coming back, but the other ladies are, and the purpose of this show is it's going to follow them in their 50s, follow them and their careers, their dating life, love life in their 50s. So I'm excited about it. Like I said, I'm a fan of Sex and the City. I have seen every episode. I have seen all the movies. I even watched, when it was on CW, the Carrie Diaries, which was supposed to be the prelude to Sex and the City. So it was supposed to be like Carrie when she was a teenager, and how she even got to be that part of Carrie Bradshaw. I even watched that. So, and then it got canceled by the CW, but it was really good. I was bummed that it got canceled. So I'm excited about that. Let's see if I had anything else to tell y'all. No, I don't have anything else. I feel like on this episode, let me know in the comments below. I feel like I was kind of like blah, 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 on speed. I don't know. I just have a lot of energy today. And let me tell y'all, the devil tried to steal my joy right before I recorded this. The devil tried to steal my joy. I got a call from one of my bosses at work. And I ain't gonna go into it, because you know what? I was like, I'm not gonna let this ruin my mood. I'm not gonna let this ruin my mood. I'm in a great mood. I want to keep my mood, and so I'm just gonna woosah. But anyway, thank y'all so much, because I'm just rambling now. Thank y'all so much for joining me for this episode of Undeniably Nikki. I have enjoyed it. I have enjoyed talking to you. Please comment in the comments and let me know what you think about the topics I discussed. Like, give me your opinion. Tell me what you're thinking. Also, please don't forget to subscribe, and also don't forget to like and share. I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in every single week, and I love you, and I will catch you again next week for another episode of Undeniably Nikki.